Hello everyone, this is our walkthrough video of our workflow for texturing in Substance Painter. Pre-warning, I'm sure you've already seen this video is going to be long because texturing takes a while. In my experience, texturing is just something that is hard. It takes a while, which is why we're doing it over 2 weeks. Okay, so I've done a little thing for you guys. I made a flowchart. Isn't that nice? That explains all of it. Keeps us all on a schedule. Obviously, I'm not trying to teach you Substance Painter. You can learn Substance Painter. You're all smart. I respect you as artists, and I'm sure you can figure it out. What I'm doing here is I'm just showing you our process because I'm trying to keep us all at the same level. Trying to get us all making stuff at the same level of quality, so our game can look consistent. Okay, so the start is you would recognize this because it's the same stuff as we always have. We need to choose our object in Trello. Okay, oh my god, Wall Wooden Thing, my beloved. I love you, Wall Wooden Thing. We're moving it into doing. I'm going to set my name on it. Bish bash bosh. So I've chosen my object in Trello, I've moved it. Next thing to do is find the object in the drive. And all of our objects, hopefully soon. This isn't a completed thing yet, but hopefully they will all be in the assets folder. It's looking great though. Like if we really look at this is looking great. Well done, everyone. Okay, so just find one thing, and the great thing is when we're separating it, how we've separated our files now is every object has its own folder. Great thing you can do, just download the whole bloody folder. You just have to download the whole folder. It's great. Obviously I've already downloaded the folder because I've actually textured this whole thing once before. But it will be on your downloads. It'll be a zip file. You just import it into your models folder, which you should have a folder for your models. Okay, so next thing to do on our thing is we need to check if our naming conventions are correct, because in Substance Painter we're going to be baking and we're going to be matching by name, which is something I'll explain when it comes to it. So basically just check. Just check the naming conventions on your objects are all good. There may not be a blend file if it's something that Saturn has exported from the block out. So it might be a little bit harder than what I'm going to show you. But, just screw it. Okay, so you can see here, actually, the naming conventions are wrong. These naming conventions are wrong. They should have an underscore low next to it, but they don't. Or underscore low and underscore high at the end, but they don't. So I'm going to update that. And you can see this is part of the process in this. If the naming convention is correct, no, fix the names, re-export it, update the drive, and then move forward with the work. So basically that's what I'm going to do right now. Oh, isn't it just... How are you guys doing? This is high poly, isn't it? Low poly. Make sure you name them right. Please. I'm trying to mitigate. This is basically what we're doing, is mitigating risk here. It's what Ashab tells us to do. So just check the blend files before you start working on it. Check the exports. It would probably be a better way of doing it. But just make sure everything's working. Okay, one thing low, one thing rail. Yeah, okay, the naming conventions are right. Okay, now I'm just going to re-export. Map. File, export. And obviously, okay, so we're in the wooden thing file. If I'm exporting the low poly, just do that. And same with the high poly. Obviously you might not need to do this. The naming conventions might be right and brilliant thank you to whoever did that. That was incredible. But for this case, I actually made the last object and I forgot. So I've kind of screwed myself there. But we're going to save that. And then, so what we do is we fix the names, we re-export everything, and then we update the drive again, just in case. We're gonna fix our folder. So basically what that means is I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna delete this one, and I'm gonna update it with the wooden thing blend. It's a new one. I'm gonna do the same with the high poly and the low poly. I thought I'd actually fixed this earlier, but I didn't, I guess. I thought I had been really cool and really smart, but apparently not. And of course, update the low poly. There, okay, and I'm just gonna leave that downloading or uploading, and it'll be fine. But of course, now we can check if the drive is updated. So we go to creating a new Substance Painter file. Okay, so by the way, my Substance might look different to yours. This layout I find to be the most efficient. I like it, but you know, to each their own. Okay, so we're going to make a new Substance Painter file. We're going to use PBR Metallic Roughness Starter Assets, which is just the first one. And we're going to, for our file, we always start with the low poly. And everything's going to be 4K. You might have problems with your model, with the unwrap or something like that. You can, if there is a problem with the unwrap, you can go back and fix the unwrap. Or you can just click auto unwrap, but I know I unwrapped this properly, so I'm just going to import it in. Here he is. And now, to be clear, it looks kind of clapped right now, but that's okay. There's like no ambient occlusion, everything's the same color and it just blends into each other, but that's okay, because you know what we did? We made high poly versions of all our models, and we can bake the high poly onto the low poly. So we're going to go up to this croissant icon, and we're going to bake. We always bake at 4K. Anti-aliasing. I'm going to put a 16. Because, you know, I'm just that guy. And so when you're uploading your high poly mesh, you click this button. Go to high poly. Bam, we're in. And so always mess with the max frontal distance, which is basically just this. We want to make sure it's as small as possible, so it's as accurate as possible, without getting little bits of red. Like you can see here, there's like little bits of red showing up. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. And there we go, it's cool. And I'm going to do match here. So this is why we did the naming conventions thing. We're going to do match by mesh name, and if there is an error in that, if that's wrong, this tab will come up with like an exclamation mark saying it's wrong. But here you can see it's all correct. Honestly, I'm not sure why we do that. But it just I think it helps. You can do it without it. Well, I mean, why not? Why not be the best we can possibly be? If there is no high poly mesh, just click use low poly mesh as high poly mesh, bake. I'm going to have to edit this bit out because I baked this earlier and it took so long. Yay! Yes, it's done. Oh, that took so long. Okay, so you guys check the bake, look around, see if there's any mistakes. And then check it in paint mode as well. You can see now, it was once before a completely white thing that just kind of blew out. But now, because of the bake, you're starting to see, oh, there's curves. Oh, there's curves. There's ambient occlusion. Things are starting to come together already. Okay, let's go back to looking at our flowchart. Here it is. Okay, so naming conventions correct, new substance file, bake. So the first thing to start doing, grab a base color. Okay, so we know it's a wooden texture. So we're just going to grab one of the wood textures that are ready to go in Substance Painter. You might want to find some textures from outside. Ashab said it was okay to use Polyhaven. But, you know, do what you want. I'm not your boss. Not yet. I was your boss once upon a time. Obviously, this looks bad, so we're going to fix it. If we look, of course, we need to look at the reference photos. So I actually know we have reference photos here in the reference folder, and I know there's one kind of down here-ish. There it is. Okay, so these are wood planks, and the wood planks are kind of, the grain is going like this way. So, oh, I've just opened Creative Cloud on accident. Stop. And we're gonna set this to 90. And turn up the tiling. Always just like mess with these kind of rotation and tiling settings. Just to get a good look. I'm also gonna turn down the height channel, just because I don't want it to be too heavy. Okay, I also think this wood is too light, and there's actually nothing really good in here to change the wood color. There's like this little thing here, but it's, you can see it just doesn't, the color isn't good. So what's really fun is we can add a filter. We can add a HSL perspective. Drop down the lightness a bit. I'm just going to drop the lightness and the saturation. This is kind of the base layer, so it's okay to be a little darker. I think that's okay. Okay, so we've added that. The next thing to do would be to consult our flowchart. Add color variation, baby. So this is a loop. This is a loop. You create color variation, and if that's enough color variation, you move on. But if it's not, you go back and you create more color variation. So that's the process I'm going to show right now. I want color variation, so I'm going to add another word. I'm going to make it a little lighter and a little less saturated. And okay, I'm going to add a black mask. Obviously, I'm not trying to show you guys Substance Painter. I'm sure you know how to use Substance Painter. If not, learn how to use Substance Painter. So I'm not going to talk my way through every aspect. I'm not teaching you how to make this stuff. I'm just making it. Okay. What would be the best map? What would be the best map? I love Grunge Map 1. Is this Grunge Map 1? Yeah, it's Grunge Map 1. And you can always consult your mask to see how it's affecting, because when you look at the material, it's like, is that anything actually changed? Like, I don't know. So you can always check your mask. And this is way too big. Way too big. And I want it to be more contrasted, really. Like that. Cool. So you can already see it starting to come in. Without, with. Keep on doing your without and with checks. I want to turn down the height as well. Wow. Okay. Cool. I want to add edges as well. You know, things usually wear down at the edge of things, so I'm gonna add a worn edge by increasing the lightness. Not that high. Yeah, it's like there. Oh, also, if we look at our grunge map for this, it's kind of like, it's good, but there's not like a massive amount of detail. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a generator. Ooh, generator. You can kind of see how this takes a while, because like we're at the first step, you know. I'm going to set this to multiply as well, which basically just means it only applies to the light areas of the map below it. So it's that. And then with the dirt, it starts to add just a little bit more, you know, just a little bit more going on. Okay, so you can see it without the dirt or with the dirt. Oh, it's a big difference, baby. Okay, back to the edges. I'm just going to add a metal edgeware to this. There it is, metal edgeware. mask. I don't really need to talk this through too much. We're just adding color variation, and hopefully you guys know how to do this stuff. I think you do. I believe in you guys. And I'm just gonna add a grunge map on multiply to get like a little bit more detail going on. Oh, that's on divide. Multiply. Go like with, without, with. Oh, it's just adding more detail. It's great. And go back to material. Okay, I feel like this needs to be a little lighter so it shows up. Where are you? Come on. Oh yeah, that's coming in. That is coming in good. Okay, so this, I'd say, is suitable color variation. If we go back to our flowchart, the suitable color variation, yes. Okay, now we're going to check, is the object dusty/rusty? Let's see. I think there's dust on it. I do. I think there's some dust on this wood. So I'm going to add a dirt layer. Lovely bit of dirt layer. I'm just going to make it really easy on myself and just make a fill layer of just like a dark color. Quite rough. No, actually, I want it to be kind of wet, actually. Cool. Less dark. More dark than that. There we go. Okay. So everything is kind of in masks in Substance Painter. So like, get used to using masks. They're great. I love them. So I'm just gonna have it. I'm gonna have the grunge amount quite high, so it actually covers more of the model. Like that, yeah. And then just like little bits in the crevices. But obviously this is way too like out there. It needs to be a bit darker like that. More grunge. Yeah, more grunge. Like that. Actually, maybe less grunge, more contrast and balance. So let's see. Let's check it. Yeah, less grunge, less grunge. Just a little bit of grunge. That. More contrast. Okay, you can see it coming in there. You can always check that with. I'm going to name our layers now so I don't forget which is which. Variation. Base. I'm kind of rushing through this because I know it's going to take a while. That's why I'm going into less detail. But you know, it's the same process for every model, so I'm hoping this works for you guys. Okay, let's consult our flowchart. So I'd say it is dusty, so I added the dust, and now we're moving on to roughness variation. There's no rust on it, so I'm not going to add rust. Roughness variation, you can kind of see how all the models will go through the same process. There'll always be base colors, there'll always be variations. Maybe there's dust, maybe there's not dust. In the case you would add dust, but there's always going to be roughness variation, and later on there'll always be height variation. That's something that keeps on showing up every time you do the process of creating one of these textures. So that's actually a really positive thing for us. It makes us able to like mash our workflow down to like a really strong, how do I say this, like a really easy to understand way of doing things. Okay, I'm making roughness variations, so I'm just gonna have this fill layer only mess with the roughness. Yeah. And I'm just gonna add a grunge map on the black mask. Just something nice and easy. It doesn't have to be crazy. I'm gonna say grunge 3. No. Grunge 4. 5. What about 2? Oh, 2. Let's see. I think I like that, yeah. I'm actually gonna check the mask. Whoa, needs to be way smaller. And it's actually going in a decent direction. I was thinking about maybe rotating it, but that would have it going up, which I don't think works with the grain of the object. Okay, let's see if we can see this roughness variation. Oh, doesn't it look so good? So without, it's quite flat. With, we start adding little bits of wet, little bits of, you know, just little bits about. I'm gonna up the roughness a little bit. I don't want it to be too sharp. Obviously, if we look at the reference, it's not like crazy shiny. And I'm gonna name this roughness. Okay, I'm gonna add height variation as well. This model, if we look at the reference, there isn't that much, there is like obviously height variation, but it's not like a ton. And it's kind of hard to understand, so I'm just gonna wing this bit basically. Height. I'm gonna push it up slightly, I think, yeah. And I'm gonna use a wood texture for the black mask gradient. Yeah. Use this low. Oh shit. Oh, I swore. Sorry, everyone. Oh, you're gonna be disappointed in me now. Okay. Let's check out the mask. Whoa. Let's see what it looks like rotated 90. Worse. Worse. Yeah, I think that's okay. I'm not a massive fan. If we up the contrast a bit, this. Okay, what if I add a levels on top and squeeze it down? That. Yeah. Play the whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna keep that, and then I'm just gonna air off it like that. Okay, okay, let's mess with. So I don't know if I want it popping out or going in. I think going in would look cooler. So we're just, you know, we don't want to go too crazy. Height variation is like a really delicate thing. You really don't want to put too much in it. Yeah, actually I'm going to turn down the tiling of the grunge layer. You know what, I don't like the grunge layer. I'm going to add this one instead. Yeah, way better, way better. There we go. I'm just trying to add a bit of height. Yeah, a bit of height variation. Let's look at it when it's like massive. Okay, and then we air it back. Yeah, just a nice bit of variation. Okay, so that's height variation. And that's the base layer of wood. Okay, so now let's look at our flowchart. So we've reached the end of our process, and then it's like, we ask ourselves, does this need another layer? We look at the reference photos, and obviously this model is not just wood. This model has paint on top of it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's paint on top of it. Okay, so we ask ourselves, does it need another layer? And we're going to say yes. So we go back to the base color, back to the color variation, and we do the whole process again until we feel like it doesn't need another layer. Till we look at our reference and be like, okay, it's just wood, it's just paint. We don't need anything else. Okay, cool. Before we move on to the next layer though, I'm going to show you guys a neat trick. Wood Dusty. You can make a folder, fill the folder with the material you just made. Yeah, and you can right click, create smart material, and that will actually show up here on your model. On your model? What am I talking about? It will actually show up in your smart materials, like in-house smart materials. You can see I've actually already done this. I've already made a wood dusty material. Let's see if it looks any better. It's gonna take a while. So we'll just, oh, is it on? You can tell my PC is beginning to die. She's getting a bit loosey. Okay, this is what my original one looked like compared to this one. Wow, okay. I'm gonna stick with the one I did just because I'm like that, you know, I'm just that kind of guy. Okay, so for our next layer, we've got to do the paint layer. I don't really want to put as much effort into the paint as I just did the wood dusty, so we're going to use smart materials. Smart materials are basically everything we just did here. Create a smart material, a material that's using the geometry and the bake and all these maps. It's using all that stuff, and it's creating a material, a detailed material out of that. So basically, everything we did to create wood dusty is a part of these smart materials. Okay, and I'm just going to use steel. I think steel painted rough damaged as a base, because obviously our model isn't steel, but we can mess with these materials to make them look better. I'm just going to delete this one. Okay. There we go. Okay, obviously the color's wrong. That's okay. That's okay, the color's wrong. Oh, you know what's a really cool thing about Substance Painter though? I can't like show it to you because actually no, I can. So what's a really cool thing about Substance Painter is when you're choosing your color, you can color pick from reality. Well, not from reality, but from photos that are on your computer. And that's like a really positive way to make sure you're getting the colors right. Oh, obviously, it's very sharp right now. So we're going to mess with it some more. I think there should be a grunge layer right at the bottom of this. That kind of everything else is applied to. Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. I've lost one of my things. There it is. Wow, we're so real. We all make mistakes, guys. Okay. Grunge. Just grunge 1. We'll be fine. Oh, autosave. Everyone pause. Autosave. Okay. Stop the tiling. Change the balance. I actually don't like grunge 1 for this purpose. I'm going to use grunge 11. Oh, worse. Better. Not great though. Increase the balance a bunch. Yeah, okay. Not sure if I like any of these. They're not speaking to me. This is a lot of Substance Painter is just like picking maps and being like, does this look good? I don't know. I think maybe if I use like a wood texture, that might do something cool. Increase the balance a bunch. Yeah, and then it's like wearing down in the crevices. Oh, you know what I could do? I could invert it. And then it's kind of, you can see it's starting to wear down. And like the peaks, I don't know actually. I think maybe it looked better like this. Yeah, I like that. Slightly less tiling maybe. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna mess with the mask a bit. So, tone down the balance, get it looking a bit done in, and I'm gonna mess with these textures. This one. Obviously, it's going the wrong direction, so I'm just gonna press random seed until it looks good. Okay. kind of find it hard to fully explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it, because a lot of Substance Painter stuff is just like, does it look nice? Yes, no, maybe. Kind of just messing with it until it looks good. Okay, I think that looks pretty nice. So that stuff, I'm gonna get rid of some of this stuff, so I'm just gonna have the paint layer on its own. Okay, that looks cool. What we need though, is some color variation. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, you know what? If I get rid of this, yeah. I'm gonna get rid of this one. Oh, it's just, I find it hard to explain this process, as I'm sure you've gathered. So I'm just kind of figuring it out on my own. That's a bit strange. There we go. That was a weird thing. Just turn it down a bit. Oh my god, it's doing that. Why is it doing that? What is it doing? Oh, of course, because it's on multiply, so that needs to change to normal. Brilliant. Fixed it. Boy, am I good. Okay, let's look at the mask. Increase time. There you go. And what if we invert it? So it shows up in the crevices. That with not much of a difference. Unfortunately, I've said this before, but this is just kind of what Substance Painter is. Just kind of messing with stuff until it looks good. Yeah, I like that. That looks cool. Okay, I want to add a dirt layer. So this is what we're doing. We're doing the same process as before, but I'm kind of just walking you through it less. Here we are. So what we just did was color variation, kind of did a few loops until I thought it was good, and now we're moving on to the dust. I really hope this is a good explanation. I have a feeling it's not great, but I'm going to keep on doing it anyway. It's like Substance Painter was always going to be hard to explain, just because it's a lot. You just have to do a lot of stuff to make something that looks good. It's a lot of work, really. And I'm just going to use a dirt generator. Whoa, here it is. Okay, oh, it's coming in. Doesn't that look nice? Okay. I'm just going to turn up the contrast, decrease the dirt, increase the grunge amount maybe. Yeah. That looks pretty cool. Go back a little too strong, so maybe dial back. No, maybe not that. Less contrast perhaps. And we can make this darker. That. Yeah, that doesn't look great. Just gonna have to mess with the settings until we get something we like. Less contrast, yeah, less contrast. Yeah, kind of go like that, a lot of grunge. Yeah, that's coming along. That's starting to look good. I like this. This is cool. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna add a fill and a grunge texture. Let's go with grunge. 4. Yeah. And I'm gonna set it to multiply. Yeah, so it only applies in those sections. Increase the tiling, obviously. Like there. There we go. Just to add a little more detail. You know what? I don't like how there's just these big holes in it, though. What's 7 like? You know that I think that might actually look pretty cool. So you turn it down, turn down the contrast, turn down the balance. Not getting anything I like. This one will be fine. You know what? Yeah, that is cool. So I don't want a lot of it because we're mostly just going with the dirt layer. Okay, this is chill. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I like this. I do. I like it. Okay, and we're done with dust, and so I'm just going to add roughness. And I don't think this model will need height model. This texture will need height variation. It's already got height variation in the wood and the paint, and I feel like the height is looking good already. So we're just going to add roughness variation. I'm not exactly sure how to do it though. I'm not sure. Well, I know how to do it, just not exactly confident. Let's look at the mask. Too big. She's too big. I think all of our models are pretty small, so you may end up needing to rescale a lot of these. I mean, it'll be fine once it's in Unreal Engine. It'll all be the right size in that way. Down, yeah, down, less contrast. Turn down the balance. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, God, I love roughness variation. Just that little sparkle, adds so much. Roughness. Okie dokie. Okay, and obviously you could do the same. Like right-click Smart Material and then use it on other models that you're working on. I'm not going to do that because I have actually already done it when I was working on this, when I was preparing. Also, I'm going to make sure, if we look at our reference, there's actually no paint on these like wooden beams behind. So I'm just going to mask away the paint layer from the wooden beams. Final thing, I'm going to go into here and I'm going to add a paint layer. And I'm going to get a dirt brush. Where are you, dirt brush? There you are. And I'm literally just going to paint in details for that final touch. If you look at the reference, this kind of wearing down here. So I'm just going to start like painting in just like bits that don't have the paint on to get that human touch, because it's like we're using lots of uniform, we're using lots of generators and things that are procedural, and I think sometimes it looks a bit rough when you do that, so you have to add this like little bit of a human touch to things and intentionality, which I mean, like without, it's this, and with, it just adds so much just by painting on like a little bit, just by messing with it a bit. Okay, I'm pleased with this. I think it looks good. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Cool. So we're gonna save. We should have saved a while ago. This is my bad. I never save. I'm terrible with it. So wooden thing SP for Substance Painter is the name of our file. Oh, saving things takes forever in Substance Painter, so you know, just prepare yourself for that. Okay, it's saved. So what we do is we go to File, we export textures. Okay, we're in PBR metallic roughness. Now, my plan is as Targa, to export as Targa, because they have a higher like variation of color, I think. Honestly, I'm not sure. I learned to use Targa like years ago, and now I don't remember why. Yeah, I think. Okay, we're gonna. Yeah, okay. This may be something we need to look back on and change later, but we're gonna export with the output template Unreal Engine 4 packed. We list our exports. You can see the way what's doing now. We've got a base color, emissive, which doesn't matter, a normal map, and then occlusion, roughness, and metallic all in one texture. It's what Ashab was talking about on Wednesday with packing textures, because occlusion, roughness, and metallic maps are all black and white. So you can actually combine them into one texture and then just drag off the red, blue, and green channels from each from the texture, and then you get the occlusion, the roughness, and metallic. And it lines up with RGB, like red, green, blue. So the occlusion is red, the roughness is green, the metallic is blue. And we need to make sure we know where this is going. So in Substance, you go to your, I'm in production models, go to your wooden thing and Substance, and then make a new folder. Exports. And select folder, click export. It shouldn't take too long. It's actually pretty easy. There'll be a few errors, but like it doesn't really matter. Make sure you save. And Bob is your uncle. You have made a texture. And the only thing you really have to do now is update everything. So you can see here, we don't need another layer, so we're moving on with export textures, and now we're going to upload it to the drive, which is very important, because you know what's really annoying when we're like, oh, I can't find any of the models, we don't know where anything is. Let's just put it in right after you finish, and it will be way easier for everyone involved. Okay, import that into there, and also import exports. And thank God this is still open. We're going to take a screenshot for the gang. Lovely, look at that babe. That's going to be in wooden thing, screenshots, thing, something painting. And then we can go to, here, to our Trello. Of course, we move all wooden thing to review, and we add in screenshot. There we go. Make cover. There it is. Give it a second to load. Our PC's chugging right now. It's doing like 10 things. There it is. Move it to review. Brilliant. Woohoo. Things are working. Okay, and that's your process. And go back to the start, choose another object, and do the whole process again. This is our whole process. If you don't want to watch the video, I think the flowchart is pretty good. I've never made a flowchart before, but I think it's pretty good. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.